everyone. It is a very, very wet and windy, horrible day here in Drogheda, but I don't care because Jurgen Klopp took the Reds to the Champions League final last night. Unbelievable game, unbelievable result. Only one team could do that, and I couldn't sleep afterwards. It was absolutely amazing. So here's to Klopp and the Reds. Absolutely amazing stuff. That's the reason why we watch sport and support Liverpool. So all you parents out there, I think it'd be really, really important if you went and bought all your kids Liverpool kits and brought them into the world of Liverpool FC, because it's a wonderful, fantastic journey that brings you up and brings you down, but it's amazing. So yeah, get all your kids supporting Liverpool. So we have a few questions today, and thank you to everyone for the response to last week's questions. It was there were tough questions for people who were going through difficult times, and people, it really resonated with people. So thank you for the kind feedback. It means a lot, and I suppose it keeps us going in terms of keeping this up and I suppose running to provide this for people if it gives them some sort of solace. As always, if you want to support this podcast, you can at the Patreon page, patreon.com/the Al O'Donoghue podcast. It costs me money now to run this on a monthly basis, so if you could give me the price of a Jurgen Klopp cup of coffee a month, that'd be fantastic. If you've got €1, great. If you've got €100, fantastic. If you've got €1,000,000 a month, I'll take it. I'll take it and distribute it to people who need it. So anyway, let's crack on with the questions. My 6-year-old is a great fun little boy. He's always up for a laugh, but recently he's been burping out loud a lot. At first it was funny and we all giggled, but we do have a big family event coming up soon, and his grandparents would be really upset at him burping in public like that. How do I get him to stop? He's just gotten so used to it and loves to laugh. And I think that's the big thing. With kids, when they do things like burping or farting or swearing, whatever, it's funny, or saying things that they don't really understand what they're saying. It is funny. But at some point we have to go, okay, you do have to go into society, and not everyone finds that appropriate. Now, I suppose there'll probably be a lot of people out there listening and going, well, feck them, feck everyone else. If he wants to burp, let him burp and laugh away because it's good and fun and whatever. But it's clear for this parent that they want it to stop. So it probably won't take an awful lot for him to kick into gear and start to understand what he's doing. So what you can do is you can have a conversation with him about it and say, look, it is funny, and everyone laughs in the house at it. But when we're outside of the house, some people don't like it. They find it rude. They find it not appropriate. So it's not okay to do it out there. And then you can talk about how, look, we don't want to get into giving you consequences because it's not a major issue. It's not something, well, unless it is a major issue for you, but it doesn't sound like it is something huge. So if it's not a major issue, just say, we don't want to get into giving you consequences. So let's just, stop and not do this while we're out and about, and see how that goes. So maybe go out to, go for a takeaway or go for a walk in the park and go for a cup of coffee or an ice cream or something, and see how he gets on and if he does it. And then maybe have a conversation with the family as a whole about, okay, look, we're not going to be laughing at this anymore. Although it's kind of funny and has been in the past, we need to stop it now before he starts to get in trouble, maybe in school or people giving out to him at events and stuff like that. And you don't want that either. So look, have the conversation. He may come on board. If he doesn't, well, then maybe you'd look at a consequence relative to what he's doing and get him to stop. And I would suspect he'll probably stop pretty quick. Just because he's burping now at 6 years of age doesn't mean he'll still be doing the same thing when he's 19 or 20. hopefully not. So give it a try and see how you get on, and then let me know. Come back to me. Okay, I'm definitely going to be eating the coffee today. I could not sleep last night. I was too excited. Next one. My twin boys are 11 and are constantly killing each other. I've tried lots of different things to get them to stop, but nothing seems to work. I'm at the end of my tether with them, and I find myself almost getting dragged into the middle of arguments, and I end up feeling terrible, and they just get on with things. Any suggestions as to what to do? So I suppose that, that's a little bit difficult to answer because there's not a huge amount of information in terms of what you've tried. So I suppose, like anything, the first thing you should look at is what are the consequences that I've put in place for this, and what are the ones that kind of worked, what are the ones that worked a little bit, what are the ones that didn't work at all, what are the ones that worked really well, and try and nip it in the bud as quickly as possible. So with anything, there's a cycle of conflict, and the very first part of it is the first thing that there is something that can cause conflict. So whatever it might be. So for you, it might be that my kids never make their bed, and that causes me to get frustrated. So there's the first part is the very first thing that there is to cause an argument. Then the next thing is something happens. So something is triggered. So your kids don't make their bed. The next thing is then the argument. So you get into an argument about it. And then you look at, well, what's the resolution? So with that, start to maybe have a conversation with them about what is it that causes you guys to have this conflict, but also look at separately what's causing you to get dragged into this conflict. Because when we're stressed, when we're under pressure, what we do is our ability to manage situations is lessened. So we're not as better able to take things with a pinch of salt or, just let them go. We're a lot more heightened and can fly off the handle a bit quicker. So look at your own stress levels. So this is exactly what you're doing. You're looking at, this is when they fight and kill each other, this causes me stress and it brings me into a conflict situation. So you can show them the cycle of conflict. Google is your friend. You'll get it up and you'll be able to see it. Look at getting them to start to take responsibility for themselves. They're 11 years of age. Although they're children, they're starting to grow up. And look, you're probably going through the whole process of them maturing. They're starting to develop and their hormones are starting to shoot all over the place. But it's about them taking responsibility for their behaviour. Now, it's not going to work all the time, but get them to sit down and look at, what are the things that cause you to have a fight with your brother? And what are the things that cause you to have a fight with your brother? And get them to list them. And then what they might do is look at, what is it? Why are you doing what you're doing? And what can you do differently? So you're giving them that responsibility. It might not work. And then what you do is you look at what are the consequences. Do you look at getting rid of the console? Do you look at getting rid of devices? Do you look at stopping them from going to parties, whatever it might be? Now, it's a pain in the ass and it's a lot of work for you. And as you say, you're at the end of your tether, but it's going to take a piece of work to get it to a point where it's manageable and not causing you as much stress. And then do look at your own stress levels. Like, what else is going on for you that is causing you to get dragged into this conflict? What is it that's going on for you? Like, are you overwhelmed at work? Are you overwhelmed with financial worries? Are you overwhelmed with just having to keep the house running? And do you need help with that? Do you need some support with that? What are the things that you need to try and lessen your general stresses in order to be able to manage this situation with your boys as quickly as possible, or as best as you can? It's not going to be perfect. They're 11-year-old boys. They are going to get into fights and arguments. But as best as possible, try and get them to take responsibility. And then look at what their interests are. Do they have separate interests or the same interests? Can they be separated a bit more? Because the other side of it is, as twins, they've never had anybody not with them. They celebrate their birthdays together. They probably celebrate every major event together. And maybe they want to kind of pull apart and have their little bit of a individuality. But at the same time, they'll come back and want to maybe gang up on you as well. So it is something to be mindful of. And what I'd say is, if you can start to take the time, and this is a process, so don't put pressure on yourself to get this done within the next couple of weeks. What I'd say to you is take the time, break it down. Look, well, let's deal with this one thing first, and that might be sitting about there and saying, look, this isn't working. This isn't working. Yeah, I'm getting stressed. You guys are getting stressed and frustrated and annoyed. So we need to change something together, and showing them that they have control and responsibility for themselves and that they can do something different. And then see how it goes. And if that doesn't work, then you can have the conversation around, well, these are the consequences that we know are going to have an impact. So this is what we're going to put in place. And it may be that they lose the privileges that they love or the things they enjoy for a short time, because you need to have consequences that are going to actually work. So have a think about what are the consequences that do work, but also the ones that work a little bit, because you might be able to extend those, and then look at the ones that don't work at all, that we just put in and our kids don't really even care. They're not bothered at all by it. So give it a go and see. Do come back to me if you need some more, and we can see if there's something else that we can suggest. Okay, last one for today. I've got an 8-month-old baby. I am so tired. Actually, what they've written is "I so tired." That's how tired they are. Can I freeze time and get some sleep? Absolutely, you can. There is a time freeze machine that you can get in your local Argos or Woodies or Harvey Norman, whatever. You can go in and pick one up and freeze time so that you can catch up on your sleep, and you can use it every day if you need to. Unfortunately, that just isn't the case. Look, it's kind of a bit of a laughy, jokey thing, but I would say this person is absolutely wreck tired, because no one can prepare you for the tiredness of having children. Absolutely no. Like, even if you said to somebody, take the most tired you've been, multiply it by 1,000, they still will not get close to the tiredness that you feel when you have kids. But do look at your support network. Do you need to get somebody to come in and maybe give you an hour free where you can actually go and get some sleep? Give you a bit of space. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to keep everything going in our house, to make sure that we are being the best parents that we can be, and that for some reason we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable and say, I need some sleep. And even if that means paying a babysitter to come in and just sit with your child. I know your child's only 8 months, but for an hour, is your mental and physical well-being worth that few quid? I would suggest yes, but the chances are you're probably going to find friends or family who are willing to come in and give you that bit of a break, so that you can actually catch up on a little bit of sleep. Or, like, what can happen is when somebody comes in to your house to look after your child while you've got stuff to do, you'll probably go and do the washing, or you'll go and do the cooking, or you'll do cleaning, whatever it might be, because you're behind and all that. But it's okay, and it's really important for you to be able to get some sleep and get some rest. If you have a partner, look at them. What can they do to give you that space to get a bit of sleep? If you have parents or family around, I'm sure they're going to help you out, and friends will help out too. Absolutely, they will. Just let people know that you need it, because we can get annoyed that people don't see that we need their help, but we never ask for it. It's absolutely okay to be vulnerable and say, can I get some help, please? Because 99 times out of 100, you'll get it. I hope you get some sleep and some rest. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Short and sweet, 15 minutes. I'm off to continue celebrating the Reds' trip to Madrid for the final of the Champions League. Hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you next week. Take care.